right. Ooh. All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Grand rising to us all. I am Arnaé. I am host for this Tuesday edition of Daily Antidote of Song, which is lovingly brought to you by the wonderful people at Carpe Diem Arts. Give 'em a hand. Give 'em a hand. I like that. So today is day 2 of Traveling and Journeys Week. And we have a very, very special guest in the room this morning who we'll get to after we say greetings to our Facebook Live family. Go ahead, say hi to him. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Wave to him. Okay. And then we'll say greetings to each other here in the Zoom room. Let's wave to each other. Hello, hello. All right. I like to start out, of course, by always saying hello to Busy Graham. I don't see her yet, but let's just wave to Busy. We got Jojo Rossi in the room. Let's wave to Jojo. And we got my girl Katie, our ever faithful, ever trusted, ever true Zoom guru. All right. All right, let's get started. With the Zoomers in the room, I'm going to say good morning to Jojo Rossi. Good morning to Becky Kane. Good morning to Jacqueline Brick and Pat Neal. Good morning to Brian McLaughlin. Deborah in Kentucky, I see you. Good morning. Sheila in Florida. Good morning, T-Love. Christiana and Bob, hello to you. Susan Shawn, good morning. Arlene Baxter, good morning. Oh, Susan G is here. Good morning. We got Lynn Levine, hello to you. Jamie Dundas, good morning. There's my friend Storm, good morning. We got Dan Walker. Good morning, Dan Walker. Pam Zappardino. Good morning. And Susan Miller. Hello to you. Oh, there's my girl Bonnie in Boise. Hey, Bonnie. Oh, Luda sending love. Thank you, Luda. Love that love from Victoria, BC. Sarah Page is here. Good morning. We got Deli here. Good morning. There's Ann in Maryland. We got Joni. That looks like snow behind you. I love it. Oh my goodness, Siobhan is here. Siobhan, good morning. Karen Newman, good morning to you. And to Jane in Texas. And to Steve and Michelle, good morning, good morning. There's Ann in Nashville. And there's Spice in Baltimore. Yeah, bring it. And there's Barb in Virginia. Good morning. And Jim in New York City. Good morning to you. John Fox, good morning. There's Cricket. Hello, Cricket. Hello, hello. And let's see. Okay, it's moving. Marianne in Vermont. Hello to you. And Ralph in Victoria. Good morning. And there's Busy Graham. Everybody say hello to Busy. We've got Bob Delaney. Good morning. And Nancy with the moo cow. Good morning. And Julie in Ontario. Good morning to you. Kathy M. Good morning, Kathy M. on the iPad. Kevin Ennis. Hello, Kevin. Yeah, we see you. Day 660. Oh, let's give him a hand for that. Everybody, give him some love. Day 660. And we have... Oh, wow, I can't see. Okay, maybe I have to open it up. I'm missing a name. There it is. Dempsey. Hello, Dempsey. I'm glad I did that so I can see you. You got LMG. Hello. And Fred Stones in Silver Spring. And the Curly Tops. All of them. All one of them. And there's Gary Palsner. It's here. Good morning to you, Gary. Aloysius in the car again. One of these days, Aloysius. We got Annette Perron. Good morning. And Martha Wagner. Hello. Sandy E. in North Carolina. Don Peabody, greetings to you. Kristen, good morning. There's Ann in Maryland. Jacqueline Brick, Bromlin South. Joni, Loriana and Company. Sherry in New Hampshire. Amanda and Miles. Caroline in DC. Oh, wow. It's good to see everybody. Good morning, and great rising. Okay, everybody, let's take a breath. All right. So, full disclosure, I had oral surgery. Um, and right now I'm feeling no pain because I'm on good drugs. So, we're here. We're going to move our way through. And as I mentioned earlier, today is day 2 of traveling with Journeys Week, traveling and Journeys Week. And our song leader for this morning, so special. He's a beloved member of this Daily Antidote family. He is an incredibly talented singer, songwriter, multi instrumentalist, as you can see behind you. I just want to touch everything. He's a storyteller. He is a member of the mythical Order of the Rose Tattoo. I need to know more about that. And clearly, he lives his musical life to its fullest. I am describing the folk entertainer, author, and TV host Rik Palieri. Everybody, show him love.
Oh,
Good morning.
so good to be here with everyone. This is such a special community, and when we gather together, uh, it's a special moment of the day. It's a day, a lot of people take a moment to do some meditation. So this is a sort of a musical meditation that every day, whenever we can, we get together and we share a little bit of music. We share a little bit of love and a little bit of stories. And I'm honored to be here on this day of it's the second day of talking about traveling. That wonderful video yesterday. Uh, it was wonderful. People involved in the video, and I'm sure there's links to the video later on, so in case anybody missed it. But the whole idea about this kind of travel that we're talking about, there's different types of travel. There is the kind of travel that you do for fun. People get on a cruise ship and they go out and they have drinks and they're having their dancing and stuff, and they go from one place to the next, or they travel around the world. But then there's hard traveling. Hard traveling is a different kind of traveling. It's not the travel about that you necessarily want to do. It's the traveling you have to do. You have to keep moving. And I wanted to talk about that today and sing an old song that everybody here has sung many times before, but I wanted to kind of introduce it in a different way, as far as I have a different version. It's pretty similar, just a different couple of different verses that I wanted to share with you. But first of all, I wanted to talk to you about this kind of hard traveling, because I've done it. I've done this kind of travel, being out on the road when I was doing these school tours and living out of my Volkswagen bus a year at a time. I did over 1,000 schools in every state of the United States, in the lower 48, not staying in hotels, staying in the Volkswagen bus with my dog and going from school to school. And I wanted to just share with you what that kind of traveling is like. It's tough being out here on the road, living in 100 towns every week, not knowing a friendly soul to laugh with or cry with. Nighttime is worst of all, as you really feel truly alone passing through the small towns. You see that some of the houses have their living room or bedroom drapes pulled wide open. Riding by, you can get a peek into the lives of the people inside. Lit by a naked light bulb or the television, you can see furniture and sometimes a few pictures on the wall. You hardly ever see the people, for they are hidden behind glass and wood, and their bodies are mere shadows dancing on a wall. It's long after midnight. All the lights are out, and you, the voyeur, are bathed in the blackness and loneliness of the dark highway. In the towns, everyone has gone to bed. Children sleep restfully after that last loving good night kiss on their forehead, while their parents rock in each other's arms until they too fall gently asleep. For you, the traveler, there is no kiss, no fond embrace, only the humming of a vibrating engine and the sound of the wind whipping across your windshield as you travel down an endless road. So that's what it's like, being out there on the road constantly. Sometimes there are people, refugees that are out there right now, just wandering down the road, wandering down a railroad track, not knowing what's going to happen next. And Woody Guthrie was one of those people years ago. Woody was a Dust Bowl refugee when that big Dust Bowl came and it wiped out all the farms. People had nowhere to really go because their farms were basically useless, and they started rambling down the road in old jalopies. And that's what Woody was doing. He was doing that kind of hard traveling that we're talking about. I just got this book that I wanted to share with you. This is the Woody Guthrie. It's the new Woody Guthrie book. It's called Woody Guthrie, Songs and Art and Words and Wisdom. And it was put together by Nora Guthrie and Robert Santelli. And in it, you can see there's artwork and the original manuscripts of Woody's work when he wrote it. This book is like holding the Woody Guthrie archives in your hands. It is an amazing look at Woody Guthrie's life with pictures, but most importantly, with these verses, because Woody anybody who knows anything about Woody Guthrie knows that he was a compulsive writer. I remember the first time that I visited the Woody Guthrie archives, and Nora said, we're going to start out by looking at this album. I was there with my friend Rick Nestler and Rich Bala. We were there as touring as the Ricks. And she said, well, here's your introduction to Woody. There was this 78 that was scrawled on it, lead belly. I mean, it didn't have a real cover on it, lead belly. And then she handed it to me and she said, Rick, start reading it. And it was every inch of that book was filled with ink. Woody was writing in all different ways, filling the whole page because he had so much to say and everything that he knew about Leadbelly. And it's the same thing with this song, this hard traveling. Now, a lot of us here at the Daily Antidote of Song, we all know this hard traveling. So we're going to sing it, and I'm going to add in a little bit about the way that it's written here. So this was written, it says, Woody Guthrie, same day as us almanac singers drove out from New York City to Pittsburgh for the first time. And it's funny because years ago, me and George Mann, we recreated that tour and went all across the United States singing in union halls, following the trail of the almanac singers. And it was an amazing thing, starting in Pittsburgh, going all the way across out to California, up to the Pacific Northwest and around. And that was hard traveling too. It was some hard traveling on that one. So the main thing about this song, if you're muted, you can sing along. If you have an instrument, I'm tuned in the key of D. So it's not that hard. Just 3 chords. 3 chords in the truth, as they used to say, right? So it goes, I've been having some hard traveling. I thought you knowed. All right. Then I've been having some hard traveling. Then Woody wrote, back down this road. I've been having some hard rambling, hard gambling, hard graveling. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. So let's try that. So that's a little bit different than the way that I have it written there, but it's almost the same. I've been having some hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been having some hard traveling back down this road. I've been having some hard traveling, hard gambling, hard graveling. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Well, I've been having some hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been having some hard traveling back down this road. I've been hitting those blind passengers, dead enders, kicking up cinders. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Well, I've been having some hard rock tunneling. I thought you know. I've been leaning on the pressure drill back down this road. Hammer flying, the air hose sucking, 6 feet of muck, and I've sure been mucking. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Let's just sing that chorus. I've been having some hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been having some hard traveling back down that road. Well, I've been having some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard graveling. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. I've been hitting that Pittsburgh steel. I thought you know. I've been dumping that red hot slag back down this road. Well, I've been blasting, I've been firing, I've been ducking that red hot iron. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Well, I've been having some hard harvesting. I thought you know. Kansas City to North Dakota, back down that road. Cutting your wheat and I'm stacking your hay, and I'm trying to make about $1 a day. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Let's sing that chorus, try it now. I've been having some hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been having some hard traveling back down that road. Well, I've been having some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard graveling. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. Now, here's a verse I never heard before. I'm going to do it so you can understand it. It's a little tricky. I've been bumping some rough harness bulls. Now, not the railroad bull, you know. So I've been bumping those rough harness bulls. I thought you know. I've been having some rough handling way down that road. And every time you shine that light on me, I up and I fizzle away. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. I've been living in the Hard Rock jail. I thought you know. I've been laying out 90 days way down the road. Well, I mean, old judge, he says to me it's 90 days for vagrancy. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord. Well, I've been walking that Lincoln Highway. I thought you knowed. Well, I've been hitching on 66 way down that road. I'm walking down the road with a word in mind. I'm looking for a woman that's hard to find. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord. One more time. I've been doing some hard traveling. I thought you knowed. I've been doing some hard traveling way down that road. I've been having some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard gambling, hard graveling. I've been having some hard traveling, Lord. So there's Woody Guthrie, the way he wrote it back in 1942. Any questions?
Wow. Wow. Rick, that's incredible. Thank you so much. Let's see the book again. Can you just
Yeah,
hold the book up again?
sure. This book is, you can see it right here.
Okay. All
And
right.
it is, like I said, it is filled with photos and all kind, some of the stuff that's really, really funny, you know, that I never saw before. And he was talking about how to be a songwriter in here, how to write songs. There's a whole thing about that. He would fill a whole composition book up with songs, you know. And he says just the title. He says all you need is a title.
Mm.
Okay, so for all you songwriters out there, like Reggie Harris, everybody out there, Emma's Revolution, this is really cool. Just the idea of the title for your song is more than half the battle of to catch your ballad. I've got 1,000 of titles laid down like postal saving bonds. I spend hours and hours just writing down my ideas for titles to my songs. Single Girl Blues, Two Hungry Babies,
Mm.
Starvin' Family Blues,
Mm.
Leaky Roof Blues, No Money Blues, The Drunken Father, The Frozen Orphan, The Drunken Mother, Wish I Was Single Again, Holy Stocking Blues, No
Mm.
Rent Blues, No Job Blues,
Mm.
Parents Lament, Crowded Room Blues, GI Loan Blues, Hock Shop Rag, Pawn Shop Polka, Bucket Shop Waltz,
Mm.
oh, and it goes on and
Mm.
on.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it's really
That's true.
funny because he just, like I said, once you get, I don't usually just recommend a book like this, but it is a book that you will cherish because it has so much to learn in
Mm.
here about Woody Guthrie. Because we think, as we talked about this before, we think that we know Woody. We've read all of these stories, but most of us, we only know Woody from what we've read.
That's
We've
right.
only, or the voice that we've heard.
Hmm.
You know, we don't, very few of us, me included, know really what Woody Guthrie was
Yeah,
like.
the intimate connection with him. I want to talk about that banjo you're playing.
Well,
Can
this,
tell us
yeah,
about it. And
well,
does the banjo have a name?
this banjo, this banjo has more than a name.
No,
Now,
did you name the banjo? Do you
you
have a
know,
name for the
this,
banjo?
I think this, if this banjo had a name, it would be Hope. So, when I was learning from Pete Seeger when I was a young kid, he always had that banjo on there that this machine surrounds hate and forces it to surrender.
Mm.
So after I did the Almanac Trail, the Vega banjo company offered me the chance to have a banjo made the way that I wanted it. And they
Mm.
put that slogan on there,
Mm.
the same slogan that Pete had. Now, I was talking with Pete's daughter, Tina, and she was saying, Rick, she said, it's nice that they gave you that and it has that slogan on it. But, you know, she said, my dad spent a lot of time writing that slogan. This
Mm.
machine surrounds hate and forces it to surrender. And she said, I think it's much better is if you put something on there that is who you are.
Mm.
And so I started thinking about that. And that's why my banjo has a different saying on it. If
Mm.
you read it, it says, this machine fosters hope and
Mm.
brings people together. I didn't feel
Mm.
like I was powerful enough to, surround hate and force it to surrender. But I did
Mm.
think that what I did in my life was to use my music and this banjo, or my old banjo over here, uh, in order to bring people together through
Mm.
song and through story. And that's what my life is really, really about. And so this is a long neck banjo,
Very long. It's extremely
like
long.
Pete's old banjo. Now Pete got the idea. I think it was back in the late 1940s, and he was trying to sing a song about the Spanish Civil War,
Mm.
and he he said that he didn't have the key was not good for his voice, and when he put the capo way up here, he lost all the bass notes.
Mm.
So he brought the idea over to a famous guitar maker, D'Angelico,
Mm-hmm.
in New York City, and said, well, maybe we can saw off one neck from one banjo and add a few frets on it, and then I can play
Love
the
it.
song.
I love it. I
And
love
so that's what happened. At first, it was just 2 frets, and then later on, it became 3 frets.
it.
So
Mm.
this is a singer's banjo. So it enables the person who's playing the music to have a lot of choices of different keys to sing in. And that's what it was all about.
Oh wow. Now, do you travel with that banjo?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is my road banjo these days. My old banjo is over here. is the same kind of long neck banjo, but
Mm.
this is the banjo that I saved my lunch money when I was a young kid to get. You know, I wanted a banjo, and my mom, she was saying to me that she wasn't going to buy me a banjo. And so I did what any kid would do back in those days. The only money that you had was lunch money, right?
That's right.
So I figure if you don't eat, you could save
Oh,
that
wow.
lunch money and you could save for the banjo. So I
Uh,
got the Pete Seeger book, the How to Play the Five-String Banjo. This
mm.
is long before I ever met Pete. This is when I was a little kid, 15 years old. And I started saving my money and I got this banjo here, uh,
Oh,
which is a
beautiful.
beautiful banjo that I've had a lot of work done on it. So it's very different than it was when I first got it. But this is the banjo that I've had most of my life. And then, you know, I got this banjo from doing that special tour. And I felt like because, you know, I was doing the tour with George Mann and we were recreating the Almanac Singers tour.
Tell us about
That,
that. Tell us about that.
well, in
Where'd you start?
1941, the Almanac Singers, which was at that time was Pete Seeger, Millard Lampell, Lee Hayes, who was later part of the Weavers,
Mm-hmm.
and later Woody Guthrie. And they were singing peace songs. They were singing. They were, you know, really the beginning of the folk revival in a lot of ways because they were not only singing old folk songs, but they were taking those songs like we do today, changing them to
Mm-hmm.
make them work into in their world back then, which is not too different from our world today. You know, they were singing songs like "I Don't Want Your Millions, Mister," and singing songs like "Which Side Are You On," and all those songs that we know today.
And where
And
were they going?
perhaps,
Where did they
yeah,
go?
it's a big kind of a circle. And
Mm-hmm.
so I back oh when I was still in my 20s, I had this idea. Why not put together a tour to recreate that 1941 tour and go all across the country singing at union halls? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, it wasn't that easy. Pete,
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I knew Pete and I knew Sis Cunningham, who later became part of the Almanac Singers. But I didn't know anybody really in unions at that time. So I would call people up and they would like could tell I was a greenhorn, right? From the, you know, like well, I'm not dealing with this kid, you know. And so that letter sat in my drawer, and Pete had written all the contacts that he remembered from that 1941 tour. So I had an outline or basic outline of where they went. And so it just sat there for a long time. And you know, I joined the local 1000 Traveling Musicians Union, and Deb Cowan, a member there. We did some union stuff together and started singing the almanac things. And I started thinking like maybe it's time to try and do this. Not long after that, George Mann, who's a labor singer, uh, he was in Australia and he heard about me. And then we got together and I told him about this idea. Now, he was a union organizer. So he had all these union contacts. And so now it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. This was a lot of work. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we got the idea that we were going to recreate that tour. So I
And where'd
went to
you
the
go? Where did you
Woody
go?
Guthrie. Well, we went first. I went to the Woody Guthrie archives and spent a whole day reading through all the letters of the Almanac Singers, and Woody Guthrie and the unions. And then I went and interviewed Pete Seeger twice
Mm.
for the you know the specifics of the tour. Where did they go? Like you said, well, back in 1941, they went out to Pittsburgh. You know, there was a lockout there at Pittsburgh for the Steelworkers Union. And they had, now you're going to love this. They had this car, okay? They recorded two albums for General Records, and it was Deep Sea Shanties and Sodbuster Ballads. And they made $250, I believe. And
Ooh.
then they took that money and Mill Lampell's family knew of a gangster by the name of Joey the Mouth. Now, Joey's car, his personal touring car became available. And so the almanacs bought that car, right, for their trip. And Pete says, when the car arrived, it had bulletproof glass and it had lead shields in the sidewalls. It was a gangster car, and
Gotcha.
they could all sleep in it. So this is the way they started out. They're driving to the there, and they needed a song. So they're driving along. Pete was driving, and Woody was in the back seat. Oh, Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town. Pittsburgh. They took the melody from Crawdad's song. Oh, Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town. Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh town is a smoky old town. Sired iron from the McKeesport down. Pittsburgh. God, Lord, Pittsburgh. So they went out there and they sang for the Steelworkers Union. And Pete said that he had a hard time that night finding a place to lodge. And he found a cheap hotel. He said it was so cheap that it had so many bugs in it that all night long he was itching away at the bugs. And then they went from
Boy,
there. Oh,
I
no.
didn't need that visual this morning. I didn't need that visual this morning.
So there they were. I'm telling you,
So you Pittsburgh. What's the next place you went?
Cleveland.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
Cleveland.
then
They
where?
sang for the Maritime Union, and they sang for the Maritime Union. Then they went out to Detroit, and they
Mm-hmm.
sang for the auto workers.
Mm-hmm.
And they had their CIO buttons on, and they marched through Cadillac Square. And then they went over into Chicago, and there they met a young radio personality who got him a little gig, and his name was Studs Terkel. And so they met with Studs, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really funny because they once again they're sleeping in this car, right? Woody crunched up on the little bucket seat there in the back, and Lee Hayes and Pete stretched out, and somebody sleeping, probably Mills sleeping in the front seat. And that was hard traveling. And so by the time they got to Chicago, they're probably wondering like, oh, we got to get away from each other for a little bit, right? And so they were able to get Lee Hayes and Mill Lampell someplace to go, but they couldn't find anywhere for Peter Woody. So Studs brings him home, and he just got married, Studs Terkel, to Ina, I think is her name, and she wasn't there when the guest arrived. But what happened was, that Pete and Woody were getting so tired about looking for a place to say, oh, we'll just curl up right here on the floor.
So
And
here's the thing. When you did the tour, did you try to recreate that as well? Did you find a gangster car? Were you
no, we,
sleeping
we
in one
couldn't find a
car?
gangster car, but we did find a union car. We had to rent a union car specifically for the trip because none of our cars would make the journey.
I didn't know
9,000
how authentic you wanted to be.
miles across the United States. This is a
I didn't know
long.
how authentic you wanted to be. Wow,
Yeah,
this is so great. You have so many wonderful stories, and I know you've said that you will stay behind. We need a
sure.
book from you. We need a book from you, Rick. We need a
What's
book.
that?
We need
Oh
a
yeah,
book from you.
I have my book. My book is, this is my book. This is my book. It's called Banjo Man: Adventures of an American Folk Singer.
I love it.
and
I
uh,
love
and
it.
it's filled with it has a whole detailed part about the almanac tour in here,
I love it.
about the one that we did, not so much
Fantastic.
as the original one, because the original one was really interesting
I
because
understand. I
you,
understand.
you
But
know
people can get the book
oh
and
yeah,
read about
yeah,
it. And
go to my
Woody,
website.
and
Just
tell us what your website is.
is Rik Palieri. It's RikPalieri.com.
Do it
And
again. Say it again. Say it again.
RikPalieri.com.
Fantastic.
Easy, easy.
Fantastic.
And and I'll sign it.
Oh, oh, I love it.
I'll
Fantastic. I
sign
just have one
sign
other
it.
question.
Hmm.
I'm looking at at an instrument. It looks like it's got a tail. I mean, am I seeing things?
No, no.
Am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing?
That is a mermaid charango. Now, that comes from Peru. And well, everything in my life has a story, as you can imagine.
Of
So the
course.
story behind that, the real kind of story, is in Peru. If you were a young man and you wanted to court a woman, you needed magical powers, you see, in
Ah,
order to win her heart. And so some believed that if they got a charango and they went over to the lakes, see, because the lakes are where the mermaids live, and they would lay a little blanket out there,
hmm.
and they would put the charango that they had, and they would put some chocolate, okay,
Ah,
and
okay.
they would go away, and the mermaid would come out of the water. She would tune the charango.
Oh,
She'd eat the chocolate, go back into the
oh.
lake. The next morning, he would have the instrument, and he would have this magical love instrument. So when I found that story, I was able to find someone in Peru to make the charango like that, so I could tell the story.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow. We could clearly do this for a couple of hours and just let everyone know because so many folks are fascinated. You're available to stay in the room for a bit so people can
Sure,
ask you
I'll be
questions.
glad to answer any questions that people
That's
have.
fantastic. Okay, we need to sing a part of that first song again.
All right.
Let's
Yeah,
let's
I'm
get back
talking
on the
too
road.
much.
Let's get back on the road.
We're just gonna do the chorus because I talk too much. I've been doing some hard traveling. I thought you know. I've been doing some hard traveling back down that road. Well, I've been doing some hard traveling, hard rambling, hard gambling. I've been doing some hard traveling, Lord.
Wow, this is fascinating. All right, Rick, thank you so, so very much. It's a pleasure seeing you again. Pleasure being here with everyone. Um, Thank you for sharing your gifts, the stories, the stories. People, if you want to hear more, you have questions, hang behind. Rick is available to be accessible to you, and we'll definitely be meeting again. All right, let's breathe all that in. All right. Just one announcement before we go. Daily Antidote is launching a new project. It's an activist card writing project that JoJo will give us the details on. Do you want to do it now, JoJo, or you want to do it later?
I'll just say something really quick. So we've done card writing projects here before, and we are coming up on Valentine's Day. And lots of us know who are either isolated or without partners, without family, that can be a time where it's even more notable than other times that there are the lack of special people. So we are going to send cards to folks who are in need. We have a couple different organizations that we have located who will help us disseminate the cards. So we're going to write cards and we're going to have a couple of parties. One of them will be this coming Friday, time TBD, where we can get together as a group and write cards and laugh and talk and have our cocktails or our tea, depending on the time of day where we are. So please join us on Friday and then probably one more day the following week to write cards. And then we'll be sending them en masse to an organization that's going to give them away to folks. So thanks everybody, because I know you guys are all beautiful card writers. For those of you who weren't with us back then, we did 2,200 cards for healthcare workers at Howard University Hospital. We got an article in the Washington Post in which it says 1,700 because that's all we completed by that point. But we know what we really did, and let's do it again, gang. So thank you so much, Arnaé. This was beautiful. Rick, thank you. And I'm turning it back over to you, Arnaé.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so that's coming up. Stay tuned. And before we say our final goodbyes, let me again extend an invitation. Any new people in the room, put in the chat if you're new to the room, put how you found us. And please stay to the end so you can get a welcome from the lovely JoJo, who you just saw. All right. Let's say thank you to Rik Palieri. Let's just give a big thank you. He's going to hang around. So those who have questions, please stick in the room. We're going to say goodbye to our Facebook family. Let's wave to them.